Welcome back to Less is More, your guide to being a leaner, healthier, wealthier, and happier you, all based in science and easy to do. Now we're on Less is More, LCHF, low carb, high fat diet, and eating window, squashing up your eating window. And we've squashed up the eating window already now to 16.8. 16.8 is a very good system to start with, but we must push on and try and get to OMAD, which is 1 meal a day. Now, 1 meal a day is something that you don't have to do all the time, but you must aspire to it. I know it's socially difficult to get to 1 meal a day, but try and aspire to it, because the longer you can have the magic in your metabolism happening, the better for you and the more your stores get cleaned out. So remember, it's adrenaline, metabolism, and glucagon and growth hormone that goes up. Glucagon, because the glucose is gone, glucagon kicks in and goes and fetches glucose from stored fat. And once it turns that fat into glucose, that's in the form of ketones. And that's where ketosis comes in. You've heard the buzzword ketosis, nothing fancy. It's basically glucagon, because the glucose is gone, goes and fetches glucose from stores. And the stores in your body are fat. So what a pleasure. That's a system that you want to kick into, tap into, and you want it to kick on to longer than 16 hours and well into OMAD. So just to recap, I'm trying to make it easy for you to understand why we need to do this, because there's so much disinformation. There's so much that is being said. This you must eat, that you mustn't eat. This diet is in, this diet is out. Now cholesterol is bad, and now I'm saying cholesterol is not so bad. And eggs are good, eggs are bad. The eggs were bad for a very long time. Now eggs, I believe, are in. So it's a bit like a paisley tie. If you keep it long enough, it'll probably come back into fashion. What we need to do is actually say, where did it all start? That's the best way, is how did we get to this mess? We know now how we got into this mess, but where did we start and where should we be? Remember that for in excess of 90,000 years, some paleontologists even say 190,000 years, prehistoric man, Homo sapiens, was the dominant primate, and he was a hunter-gatherer that lived by the sea for 190,000 years. That's how his gut evolved. Our system evolved needing to eat once a day and be a hunter-gatherer that lives by the sea. In other words, stuff that grows above the ground, berries and leafy vegetables that grow above the ground, meat and fish. So that's where we're trying to get back to. The reason for that is that's how our bodies evolved. We've only spent 10,000 years doing it a little bit differently, which is an absolute minute in evolutionary time. We've only brought things around from the rest of the world 500 years ago, when everybody was trying to get the spices from the east and bring it around, and that's when tomatoes came across to Europe and from Mexico, and potatoes was actually more valuable, and they didn't know it at the time, than the gold that they stole from Peru. So they should have stole the potatoes. But anyway, so that's how we got into the state we were in now, where these have become staple diets. But we didn't evolve to have them in that. And only when we started genetically modifying stuff in the 60s, now we're really in trouble, because now fruit is available to us. Nature's candy is available to us as much as we like, when we like, every day, all the time. It wasn't designed to do that. So we're messing with the original design. And once you mess with the original design, trouble. That's why we're in such trouble. So we have to remember that Paleo man ate once a day, and maybe even not as much as that. So he would wake up in the morning, tap into his stores, get his adrenaline going, get all these things going, go and hunter-gather. He might not even get it. He goes and hunter-gathers the next day. So he spends longer than 1 meal a day, even further than that. And then has a feast. And in that eating window that's been squashed up like that, he feasts. Tonight, we feast. We dance naked round a fire, and we have as much as we like. And we eat, drink, and be merry. And then we go to sleep, have a good night's rest. Tomorrow morning we wake up, adrenaline goes up, metabolism goes up, growth hormone goes up, glyconeogenesis from the glucagon, and what a healthy state to be in. So just remember, it's not your fault that you don't know what to do next. I hear that. This is an attempt to make it more understandable and more palatable for you, that you can see that we're just going back to basics. And when you do go back to basics, like anything, if someone is playing badly at sport, it's never something fancy. It's that he's not got his eye on the ball. It's not that he's watching the ball. He's not standing still, that sort of thing. It's always the basics. It's always the basics that we're doing wrong. And we want the answer to be in the form of a tablet, or the answer to be something fancy and airy-fairy with a massive explanation attached. Not true. The answer normally to very complex problems are basic, that we're doing the basics wrong. And the basics are that we're eating too many times a day. We must squash up our eating window and even go on to one meal a day and tap into those beautiful metabolic states. So the bottom line to how the body works is that we were designed to be a little bit hungry, not to be overfull. We were designed to be a little bit hungry. So all our systems are geared towards, what do we do when we don't hunt or gather that day, when there isn't something to eat? Our systems are geared evolutionary, 190,000 years. It worked a system out to try and protect you from the scourges of not having something to eat. So fasting is an absolutely natural process that we've decided to switch off. We've decided that breakfast, breaking your fast, breakfast is the first meal of the day. It can be the first meal of the day, but then it must be the only meal of the day. So it's when you break your fast. I'm saying you should break your fast at lunchtime and very often at dinner. So you should fast all the way through to dinner, then fast again, all the way through to dinner. That's a very healthy way to do it because it cleans out the pantry, cleans out the fridge, cleans out the bum and the belly for you so that you can have less inflammation lying around. Because if we don't do that, we bombard the body with too much excess, and it's normally in the form of sugars, far too many sugars. And if you do that, it stores it in the form of fat. There's a thing called fatty liver disease, which is a non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. In other words, you get an alcoholic's liver from too many carbs, from eating too many sugars. The body stores it over and over and over in the liver in the form of fat lobules, and that is non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. You're basically messing up your liver, and your liver is such an important organ. So you need to clean out that liver on a daily basis, clean out the muscles, clean out your peripheral fat. And the only way to do that is to tap into the beautiful metabolic things that happen at 12 hours. So 16:8, OMAD, and you can't believe this, but it's beyond OMAD. There lies beautiful things. In the old days, when people went into unexplored terrain, they would say, beyond this point, there are dragons and things that are evil, just because they didn't know what was happening there. Now I'm saying, beyond OMAD is beauty. Absolute beauty is the promised land. So in the next video, we're going to get into what lies beyond OMAD, a beautiful system that we need to tap into as much as we can. So join me in the next video.